You know the good thing about being a champ is you don't got to do shit. You can just watch everybody else run around with their heads cut off because you know they trying to chase you because you're at the top. You're at the pinnacle. You are on the mountaintop. And that's where your Philadelphia Eagles are. And we'll tell you why they didn't make any moves in free agency so far. Come on. Victory Pod Monday starts right now. I just feel like it's been a while since we've seen an ass whooping. Like, I'm talking about like Denver, Seattle ass whooping from
fucking, I want that. So
from fucking kickoff to the end of the game, just a complete ass whooping. What
can I say except you're welcome?
Let's hunt.
If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground.
Where are you going? I'm going to pick a fight.
Get up, nothing!
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that why you are here?
Let the games begin.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight! This is where they die!
Yeah, I think
I'm going to Disney World.
Welcome everybody back to the Victory Monday podcast. Oh man, it's a Victory Monday every Monday. We want to know why? Because we are your world motherfucking champions in the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm Moss Money. That's Ernie B with the fresh fade, the fresh cut going on. What's up, bro, man? A lot of moving and shaking, man. A lot of moving and shaking.
Non-stop. It never stops happening, man. Football is 24/7. 365. It's fun.
Yeah,
fun.
No, it is fun, and being a champ, right? Being in the Super Bowl, again, right? As second time in 3 years, winning it and getting the ring this time, getting it done this time. The one thing that you do notice, the turnaround is quick, right? We felt like we were partying, still kind of partying, right? For now and season, the free agency. Today was legal and tampering, a lot of deals, a lot of shaking, and then was it the 13th? Is actual free agency, I think. Is that the right date?
Wednesday at 4 is the new league year start. So
okay, so that's the 12th, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 12th. Yeah. So fun times, and like you said, 24/7. So let's get right into it. The Big Four. I guess we call them Big Four for your Philadelphia Eagles. Let me bring up a little picture here of the Big Four. Where is that picture I had? I should be prepared. Well, I'm looking for that. So it's a picture of all four of your free agents. I guess now we can say that we can add Burks to it. I thought Burks was a big piece to have back, man. I really did. I thought he was so versatile. But hey, gotta go get the bag when the bag is called. So here we go. There it is. I got it. But let's talk about the deals, man. I think you said already before, we kind of knew that some of these were going to go. I think Rodgers was my only kind of thought he would stick around a little bit, but he didn't. But Isaiah Rodgers, start top right. 2-year deal, $15 million contract with the Minnesota Vikings. I'm assuming he's going to start, you think? Or is he just there as a P? He's going to start, right? He's going to start there. How do you feel? What do you feel about this one? You think it's a big loss for us? Kind of what happens, if you don't want to pay him. You think the number's too high, too low? What do you think about this deal for Rodgers? Kind of crazy kind of track, right? From where he started, right? Starting with the Colts, got hurt, then the gambling situation, then came to us, kind of played here and there, and then won a Super Bowl. And now he's getting, I wouldn't say starting cornerback money, but, starter type money.
Solid number 2 money.
Yeah, I agree.
Solid number 2 money. Rodgers, he filled in perfectly for Slay. like I had said multiple times, he was kind of having a Jason Peters-esque kind of go around where all of a sudden you would just see Isaiah Rodgers out there and don't see Slay anymore.
Yeah,
So,
right.
what's
Yeah,
happening?
sure.
Then all of a sudden
Absolutely.
Slay's back, and it was like, okay, So Rodgers was one of the ones that I just kind of figured there was a chance somebody would pay. He's really fast, a little undersized. He's 5'10", about $180. Kind of has struggled with the bigger, stronger receivers. But
Yeah.
I think that this just, for him, this just says that the Eagles have a lot of confidence in Keely Ringo, and that they don't.
I don't.
They didn't feel desperate. So
Yeah, I don't have a lot of confidence in Ringo, but we'll see. He's going to get a shot. They're going to keep
in
with
fact,
the.
he's younger than Quinyon Mitchell.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Bulldogs is full effect. So we will see. We will see. And who we, top two, we thought we'd keep one of them, but they both walked out the door. I didn't get the number on Slay, but I know it was a 1-year deal. Darius Slay off to the Steelers.
That one's a little tricky. So Slay
Okay.
is still technically an Eagle because he can't be released with a post June 1 until Wednesday at 4. The why it's a little bit different is because I guess technically they could agree to a trade with the Steelers and try to get back like a 7th round pick or something. It's kind of a Howie type thing to try to get every last bit out of the toothpaste tube. You know what I mean? Try to get something for him, but
he's actually back with the Birds?
Well, he was never released yet. That transaction was never processed. So just like Milton Williams signed with the Panthers, and then New England a couple hours later, it's how it just Wednesday at 4 is why this is legal tampering. These are all allegedly signed this deal, because it can flip, and you can have like a Frank Gore situation where he was an Eagle for all of 24 hours.
Yeah, I remember that, right?
Yeah. So Anthony Barr did it to the Jets a few years ago.
Yeah.
So the Slay thing, that's why you haven't seen numbers come out. He's an interesting one. I just don't. We got to wait and see.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, let's go to the big dogs at the bottom here. Let's go with the big man. Got paid 4 years, $104 million, $63 million guaranteed, about almost $24-25 million per year.
26 annual average.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yep.
Well, I heard what the story with Milt was that who was it? Was it the Panthers?
Yeah, Carolina was.
Yeah, it was Carolina in there, and they just got outbid by New England. New England jumped the number, so I don't know what the true number was, but this is his true number. I don't know, man. Do you think Milt was $100 million man walking? You thought that was going to be it?
I had a pretty good feeling that he was going to make that kind of money, and it was going to be coming from Foxborough.
I think he's going to ball out through there.
The Panthers signing really, really confused me. Like I was kind of like, I knew the two teams, that was kind of who it was going to be between.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, I was shocked. But then when I saw the New England update come in, I knew it. I mean, it was, that one, New England was a done deal, I believe, kind of post combine for him to go there.
Yeah.
And I think Carolina swooped in late, and then New England just came off the top rope.
Yeah.
So
I think he's going to ball out in New England. I think it's going to work out well for him.
We'll see.
But he's never played full-time snaps either. So we'll see how that works out. But he's getting paid like he will. So I think he balls out. I think he has a great year. So here's a question for you though. If Milt got this, what the hell is Jalen Carter's number?
Well, I mean,
Are we talking 35 and up?
Oh yeah. Starts with a 4, probably.
You think he's going to get more than Miles?
I mean, Myles Garrett got $40 million. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You think Carter's going to get more than that? Oh man, let me ask you this.
There's a reason why these guys are,
I get it.
I mean, that's next year.
But is Carter the best defensive lineman in the league, though?
I mean,
I know he's a talent, and he's arguably a generational talent. But is he 40 million talent?
I pay him $40 million. Yeah.
Like he's a walk and go jacket.
I think so. Yeah, as long as he stays out of trouble, 100%.
Whew. That's wild.
I don't think that's a crazy statement.
That's so wild. He's a DT. It ain't one. It like I mean, like those guys who get that type of money. I understand his worth into the defense. I understand his disruption in the defense. But the guys who get paid like that also have those production in terms of a pass rush too. Is only my only concern, right?
Chris Jones makes how much?
30. What is he in 30s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Chris Jones also gets like 11, 10 sacks a year.
I'm just give me the heads up. It's coming.
I mean, no, I'm just like
it's coming. I mean, that's
just so wild to me to pay that man $40 million, though, bro.
Like, it might not get to the 40. I mean, I think it's going to be around. It's going to be up there, man. Because you got to think there's guys that are going to want to get paid now. Now Dexter Lawrence is looking at Milton Williams' contract, like, yo.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if Milt got
think about the guys that still have to be that are going to go back to the table. Think about the Myles Garretts of just the interior defensive line guys. Like,
yeah, so Chris Jones got.
Now he also switched to defensive end, which Jalen Carter could very well do too.
So Chris Jones is getting 35. Well, in the last year of his deal.
Yeah.
28. It jumps 28, 35. Yeah, but there's a potential out in 2027. He signed a 5-year, $158 million deal, including $30 million signing bonus and $95 million guaranteed. And then he's got, your obvious, your benchmarks and your bonuses and all that stuff. Average salary of 31.7. That's where I think he's at. Like you can put him at Chris Jones level. Is where my head is at. 40 is insane. I don't know if I could pay a defensive tackle $40 million. Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. All right.
Gonna go up,
and then last but not least, Mr. Sweat. Going back to see Mr. Gannon. Surprising move there a little bit. Thought. 4-year deal, $76 million.
That's another one that was pretty post combine. They were.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Cardinals they had a hold on him, man. I mean, they retained him. They retained Baron Browning, and I thought they got him for a pretty good deal because I think he's an ascending football player, and really fits the scheme. But Sweat, he's a 7-year veteran, man. I know he's only 28 years old, but
he's getting up there.
He's got a lot of miles.
Bad knees.
He's got a lot of miles.
Yep.
So I think I think he got overpaid, but I think he deserved a payday. So it is what it is.
No, he did. No, he deserved a payday. And then when Miles got paid, you knew Sweat number was going to go up.
19.1 annual average.
Yeah.
So it's not too crazy.
$20 million, pass rusher. I guess not bad. He's a fringe 8 to maybe 11 sack, year a guy. He can play. He's an every down guy. He's a starter. Just got a bum wheel, but he's never going to pop, consistently over double-digit sacks. That's the only thing you got to take with it, and that's just what he is.
I think the question is though, is like, a 4-year deal. Like if he did play out it in its entirety, you're talking about a 32-year-old. I don't know if he gets another deal after that. I don't.
Probably not. He's not that special, and the knees will probably go at that point. You know what I mean?
So
for sure. All right, so that is your Philadelphia Eagles and what they did. One more deal. I don't have a picture of them, but Kenny Pickett, right? The Kenny Pickett trade to the Browns for DTR and I believe a 5th-round pick.
Yep,
which wasn't a bad turnaround. Wasn't a bad turnaround for that. I mean, that's really the only move that the Eagles did so far that I can see was that move for DTR, and then giving Kenny Pickett a chance. How about shout out to Kenny Pickett, man, playing out his dream, got to play in the Super Bowl, got to play for his favorite team, got a ring, and now off to die in Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah. The Browns ended up making a trade. So
yeah, for
wasn't
sure.
The one people were thinking, but
now let's go through the updates, man. Let's go through what we saw so far. Now, for me, I don't think the Josh Allen deal is that crazy in my head. Everybody's going nuts. Everybody wants to in the radios, the news, everything in Philly is like, all right, when's Jalen? They're going to redo Jalen's deal now because they just did Josh Allen's deal. Josh Allen didn't go to the Super Bowl. Jalen won the Super Bowl. He won the MVP. Jalen's elite. Yada, yada, this. Yada, yada. Let me ask you guys this. Good question. Is Jalen Hurts elite?
I mean, we had this conversation before.
Of course. Of course.
He's not Josh Allen now.
No, he's not Josh Allen, but is Jalen Hurts an elite quarterback?
Jalen Hurts is an elite game manager.
He might go down as the greatest game manager.
No, but he's a really good quarterback.
Who's the greatest game manager in your head?
Probably Tom Brady.
Okay.
Outside of manage the game, what else did his body do? I mean,
okay, I'll give you that. He ran for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Over 18 years.
Yeah.
Okay, I give you Tom. Tom can fit every bucket, so I'm not going to argue about time. So are you going to say he's not elite? Or are you going to say he is elite?
Well, I just think that there's the tier of the Allen, and I think that's the elite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I think right below that you got Hurts, and so no,
he's not.
No.
Okay.
Not yet. We can say that. We can say not yet.
Yeah, not yet. We have little arguments about this all the time. And it's funny because you see people argue about him being a game manager. And in my head, I'm just like, he just won the Super Bowl being a game manager. What's wrong with being a game manager?
He's not throwing the ball 40 times a game.
Yeah, and he's a gamer. That's the key thing with him. He is a gamer. When the lights are bright, he shows up. That's all I care about. You know what I mean? I agree. Somebody was arguing me about I had made a tweet or something. Skip Bayless had said something about Hunt. And he said something that, Sweat had left, but man, they got Hunt right behind him and he's going to be a beast. And I'm like, this is the best thing I've heard you say in a long time. And somebody followed up that tweet on me saying, oh, well, he did say the Eagles were going to win the Super Bowl. Unlike you that said that Jalen Hurts wasn't going to be anything after the Carolina game. So I was like, did I say that? Probably did. And I went back. I was like, he was 14 for 21 and had 108 yards in the Carolina game. So I think I should have my doubts about Jalen Hurts having 108 yards in a football game for 4 quarters against the Carolina Panthers. Sorry. Yeah. If you want to call that elite, then be my guest. That's not elite in my book. Just saying. That's all. I don't want to hate on the Super Bowl champion. He's my quarterback. I don't want to hate on the brother.
Super Bowl MVP.
I'm sorry. I need to put some respect on that man's name when I say that.
He's never thrown for 4,000 yards in his life.
And he won't.
No.
With this offense, too, by the way. What?
We'll see. It's not happening.
Yeah, it's just not. He's just not. That's not what he is. I digress. That's another show, maybe. But getting to the free agent updates, I was talking about before, the big contract for Josh Allen. Record-setting $250 million guarantee, $330 million. So, explain, I guess, to the people: did it extend, or was it just he just got a raise, pretty much, or was it both?
Yeah, they always have to. Yeah, they always got to. It's always an extension.
It's always an extension.
Yeah.
What was it, another year, another 2 years, or?
It was just what it was is to create current cap and cash. Mm-hmm. So they just added a bunch of money onto the end with some really high cap hits towards the end of that time, and which would bring the number up now. So, puts him up kind of higher in the rankings of annual average value, where he should be. But it also benefits the team, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
So,
that makes sense. Yeah.
It's more of a housekeeping kind of thing, similar to kind of what the Eagles did with Barkley, but it's very different to do at running back. They didn't have to redo the contract at all. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They
So
could just,
go ahead.
Unless Barkley was going to come to the table and demand that kind of money, which for the amount of money that he gave, that was given to him, I highly, highly doubt that Barkley, coming off the Super Bowl, tried to demand that kind of money, but it helped us right now to free up cash. So,
do you think Barkley actually? Do you think his camp initiated, or you think that was Laurie just saying you just had the best running back season?
Usually, I've mentioned before, like we've operated with the bank of Lane Johnson, and I think that, like I said, his void years just run, like you've looked it up, to like 2029 or something like that. So
yeah,
best to just you don't just, people don't understand, the void year is just not made up. Like you would have to post June 1 it to offset the dead cap. Like you
right.
Like you're still the man is getting paid. He's taken care of. Well
Yeah.
taken care of. That's why the players go for it, because they get money now and they get guaranteed money extended down the road.
Yeah.
So now the bank of Saquon has essentially opened, and so they just went to one of their best players and gave him a fat check and an extension in order to try to move some money around and free up some stuff.
Okay.
Kind of similar to what they did to AJ Brown last year.
Yeah. I remember. So how'd you feel about the Barkley thing? Just well deserved, just well deserved. It is what it is. Housekeeping.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Out there in day one NFL free agency land, any moves that kind of was like, any big moves you saw that you thought?
DJ Reed to the
Washington
Lions was interesting.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
DJ Reed to the Lions.
Okay.
I thought
they
upgraded
that one
from Carlton Davis. So Carlton Davis signed to the Patriots. Another sign of the so-called suck tax that the Patriots have to pay for just being bad. Davis got 3 for $60, and DJ Reed got 3 for $48. So I think DJ Reed's much better corner than Davis.
Yeah.
He was opposite. He was the guy opposite Sauce.
Sauce, yeah, from the Jets. Yeah. Yep.
I like that one. Thought the Giants getting Paulson Adebo, the corner from the Saints, that was a really, really good one. I actually kind of had them. I thought they were going to go after Rodgers, Isaiah Rodgers, but they actually were planning on spending a lot more money than I expected. Gave him about $18 million a year. That was a pretty solid sign. I like. I want to say I'll give one that I thought was a little wild. I thought that DK, the trade for DK and the extension, I thought they paid him kind of a little.
Yeah, to the Steelers.
Pittsburgh. I thought that was a little too much money. I thought Adams kind of got a lot with the Rams.
I like that move to the Rams. He's going to catch 100 balls.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he's going to.
It's one of those odd ones. You know what I mean? Like,
well, they're copying the Eagles, right? Like that 1A, 1B receiver.
I mean, they had that with Kupp. They just
not anymore. Kupp fell off.
Well, I mean, he just he had some injuries, so it's just I don't know. I think that they were in a really good position. They've got really, really, really good young football players. So they've got to hit on their veterans.
Oh no, you're talking about the Rams. I'm sorry, the Rams.
Yeah. The Rams. I mean, that was the hardest game they played the playoffs by far.
For sure.
I mean, that was like the Rams and.
I didn't feel like they were one play away, like they're all saying though.
I mean, they were, but again, you don't double team the best player on the defense, then he's going to win the matchup. I mean,
yeah.
All day long, and then on the last play of the game, you call a play not to double team Jalen Carter. That's not.
Oh yeah. I didn't remember that. So I mean, teams that have really like changed their look, right? I think the Steelers, like you kind of mentioned already. They're just They just look different. They're just going to look different this year. Supposedly Slay's there, right? You just talked about the big deal for DK. Fields went to the Jets. Russell's still out there in limbo. The rumor is Rodgers is more Rodgers. First it was Sam Darnold that they were talking to, but Darnold, we'll get to where Darnold went. But do you like the fit of Rodgers in the Steelers? If that is the case? Like, I'm not sure. Yeah, like I don't know what they're doing at quarterback.
Yeah,
and they have no running back.
I don't really like what they've been doing, if you want me to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't understand. I mean, DK Metcalf and George Pickens, that's a wonderful wide receiver.
Yeah, right. Locker room.
I mean, I think Tomlin can hold down a lot. I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't really understand their process there.
And they're usually good too. They usually make good moves.
I don't want to shout out Washington, man. I think that they
that was next.
For Larry Tunsil.
Crazy trade for Tunsil, right? So I got the trade up right now. Commanders get Tunsil, 25 4th-round pick. Texans get a 3rd and a 7th for this year, 2025, and then a 2nd and a 4th in 2026. Also, Commanders so far on this offseason, Tunsil, traded for Tunsil, traded for Debo, signed Kinlaw, who's a D tackle, underrated a little bit. Re-signed Wagner, re-signed Zach Ertz, just your leaders and your veterans, and John Bates. And I mean, Zach had not a bad year. I mean, he's getting long in the tooth. He's getting old. Wagner, we already know, is getting old. I think those guys just kind of let's run it back one more time type deals. Yeah. Let's see what we can do.
I think they need those two, though.
Yeah. They're leaders. Yeah, they're definitely leaders.
I think that that helps start that culture. They don't have the opportunity just because of the length of their tenure. They don't have, the BG or anything like that. So it's that kind of gives them that core. You need those guys.
No, you do. You do. I don't think it's enough for us, but it'll be interesting because I think Debo's kind of washed. Wagner's going to get his 100 tackles. Ertz is a nice security blanket. He knows how to get open. Kinlaw, they had all first round, defensive linemen, but now it's just kind of just completely different than what it used to be. They let Allen walk, and they bring in Tunsil. So to me, they added some pieces here, but I'm not sure if any of these pieces for the Commanders is that get me over the hump pieces. I think they want Debo to be that. I just don't think that is going to be the case.
They haven't lost anybody yet. But
who are you talking about?
Zacchaeus is still a free agent. De'Ami Brown reportedly signed a $10 million deal with the Jaguars. So that's wild. And then you had Noah Brown. He's a free agent as well. So I like the addition of Debo. I actually do.
Kingsbury is going to figure out how to use him.
Yeah,
but he's not going to return to what we know Debo as, is where I'm saying.
No. I think those days are behind him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And Cliff is really good, but he's not Kyle. So
yeah,
I do think you're kind of underselling the Larry Tunsil edition. I think that was the best move that they could have done.
Oh no. Tunsil's
just
beast.
30. He's just 30. So
yeah, and he started every game he's played. I mean, he started every game.
Led the league in penalties last season, but that's about the only thing I could say about him.
Yeah, no, he's an anchor for them.
But now Coleman gets to move to left guard, which is his natural spot, and I think he's a shirt up, not necessarily Pro Bowl level guy, but I think he's good there. So you have Tunsil and now Coleman, Biotic at center. Cosme, forgetting the right tackle off the top of my head. But I mean, you're talking about a squad, man. I mean, they're I still have been saying this.
I hate that the Washington Commanders offensive line.
Well, I think if they drafted Omarion Hampton in the first round from if he were to fall towards the end of the first, and the Commanders were to add him with Jaden Daniels, it would be the exact same thing that Jalen and Saquon or Lamar and Henry are. I think the NFC East and the NFL should be very scared if the Washington Commanders make a move like that.
Debo and orbit motion RPO still has to be. I'm not saying he don't got respected, Marcus. All I'm saying is that he's not the Debo of 1,500 yards all purpose, 10 plus touchdowns. That those days are over. Could he get you maybe 1,000 all purpose? Probably, 600-700 receiving, maybe 300, receiving. They'll use him in special teams. He's gonna be a gadget guy. I mean, he'll be a little bit better than Eckler, maybe. Because I think Eckler will still be there. But I mean, having Daniels and then Debo and Eckler to both of you, that's a nasty look. And you could do a lot with that, right? So they have some plays. I'm just saying he's not going to be like that Pro Bowl Debo Samuels that we know. But he'll give them some toughness for sure. Absolutely. Which, I mean, as soon as he gets in shape, maybe all right. Maybe all right. So, yeah, that's enough about Washington, though. All right, let's talk about another. I think some scratch your heads, and I don't know if it's so much a scratch your heads, but I mean, what the hell is Seattle doing? We just throw it up and just blew it the fuck up and just said fuck it, like,
and then pay Sam Darnold.
Like, what are we doing in Seattle with the 12 right now? And we start with Sam. Like that's our goal is Sam. Like we're gonna all right, Sam's gonna be our guy. I mean, granted, he showed out last year. I think it was a little bit more the system, but he showed what he could be in the right fit in the right system. Who's out? Is it Brian Johnson out there in Seattle?
No,
who's the coach in Seattle?
Mike McDonald.
McDonald. That's right. That's what I'm sorry.
McDonald.
Yeah. And McDonald's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not sure, like, what's that look out there? Do you know anything about why, Darnold was the look for them? They traded Geno, right? They talked the world about Geno, when Geno's our guy, and he goes to Vegas, which is another kind of surprising move, I guess, a little bit too. But I guess he's a stopgap, I guess, for a year or two as they probably draft a quarterback. And you got a veteran there who knows how to lead a team, and you can probably
reunited with Pete Carroll too, so that was huge.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true. But going back to the Darnold, man, what's your thoughts out there? What the hell they doing out there in Seattle?
It is what it is, man. I don't think he's going to be very, going to be great. Their wide receiver room is lacking. I mean, they basically given their card up that if McMillan's sitting there at 12, that they'd probably take him.
The kid from Arizona.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just not a fan of what they're doing. They're resetting. I mean, they're clearly resetting.
Yeah, they're clearly resetting. Yeah.
So it just is what it is.
But the crazy is resetting to what? Like I don't get the like you feel like you can find that direction, but I mean, is Darnold going?
I don't know. I mean, Darnold doesn't really. Aaron Rodgers made a whole lot more sense to the bridge quarterback role than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was kind of we want to.
Yeah, Rodgers at least try to set culture. At least try to set a mentality.
Or just bridge yourself 1 year. You draft a kid at 12, whoever falls. If you can maybe get Shador.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I'm hearing he's falling too.
Jackson Dart. Just you take a flyer on somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Milrow. Or maybe we're not even talking about 12. Maybe they trade back in with the Eagles at 32. Like what happened with Lamar Jackson. So there's no telling. It's interesting to see how that works, but I can't give you an answer as to why it's happening.
Yeah, I'm confused as anybody with that one as well. Excuse me. So I think those are kind of the bigger stories. I mean, there's a couple stories out there. J.C. Horn got paid. Khalil Mack went back. Fields went to the Jets. I guess that's not a bad side. What do you think about Fields?
Chase Young just re-signed with the Saints, so there's another.
Oh, did Chase? I didn't mind. I would have mind Chase. Looking at Chase, I didn't know he was still that young. He's only 25.
Oh yeah. Another one, serious injury history, but yeah, I've always been a fan of the player. But New Orleans keeping him around.
What do you think about the Fields? Phil's how'd you feel about that?
Reunites him with Garrett Wilson, man. I like
Garrett
it.
Wilson. Yep.
Aaron Glenn gets his guy. I think that their kind of mentalities are going to go well. Fields is always kind of been one of those guys that people have always asked him, he needs to be a better leader just because they want to be more vocal or whatever it may be. He's a bit of a quiet kind of guy.
I think he matured in Pittsburgh, though.
I think learning from Tomlin helped, but I think going to Glenn is perfect. I think that relationship there, then having Garrett Wilson there with him, who has succeeded at a high level in the NFL and knows what Fields is capable of. I think that I think it's big. I don't see early success for the Jets, but I think they're definitely making smarter.
I only gave him 2 years, so he don't short leash.
Well, I think that they just gave him the opportunity to go out there and do some things. And like I said, they're going to try to compete. Right now the goal is to stay above the Dolphins and the Patriots, and then try to chase the Bills.
Yeah, you can try.
Yeah, they're not sniffing them, but.
All right, I'm looking at the free agents out there, from each, group. Any insight? I know you got the back end chatter and talk with your connections. Any insights with any I guess some of the bigger names that people would know about where they might end up? It looks like Rodgers is still out there. Amari Cooper still out there. Stephon Diggs, Najee Harris, Nick Chubb.
Najee's going to the Chargers.
Najee's going to the Chargers.
Yeah.
What about Russ? You think Russ is going back to Pittsburgh?
Russ and Rodgers is either New York or Pittsburgh. Just
flip flop. We're going flip flop. I can see Russ going to New York.
Yeah.
He'll die in New York.
Yeah.
He'll be terrible with him out there. Anything from the receiver core with Stephon Diggs, Coopers? I thought Lockett to the Raiders makes a lot of sense, but I haven't seen that yet.
The older guys are not having a strong day today.
Yeah, you need the DeAndre Hopkins, the Keenan Allens
as well.
Yeah.
So Von Miller, from what I understand, is contemplating retirement or the Bills. So that's an option I see in the chat there. But I don't think that he'd be looking to play in Philadelphia.
Give me Von Miller for the cheap. Yeah, I don't think he's coming here.
Yeah, I think as far as guys that I guess maybe some connections that could be there. Asante Samuel Jr. is an interesting one to talk about. Corner with inside-outside versatility. Obviously, the father connection there.
Yeah, I said the people know the name.
Yeah,
but he was a player, and he was a player with the Chargers, though.
Yeah, and the market for those level of corners is obviously, I think, outpriced. And if the Eagles don't want to pay Rodgers that, I'm not sure if they would pay even more for a guy like Samuel Jr.
Still young, 25.
Yeah, he's got a little inside-outside versatility. You know what I mean? Not the best tackler, but you could always improve at that. I think his father got better as his career went on as well at tackling.
Oh, he was great at blindside hits. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I tell you. Yeah, he might hit you. He won't hit you right on, but if you're not looking,
he'll
come and smoke your ass.
Smack.
He'll come up and smoke your ass for sure. He was always good for that.
I think what's important to understand is, like we talked about the Carter extension from earlier. The big thing is that's obviously coming into effect today. Nolan Smith is also on that list of guys because they were both picked in the first round. So, yeah, I know, but we're talking about a potential, $65 million between just the two of them.
The problem with Nolan is that I think I said this before last week. Not the fact that I have a thing about him really not being that good, but I think he's injury prone, and I think that's going to be a factor. And if he struggles this year coming up with injuries, I mean, we not just because of the fact of him, we lost what, 5 defensive players, right? I think is that 5.
So far, there have been 2 starters are gone.
Yeah, 2 starters.
Milton Williams and Josh Sweat are gone.
I would say 2.5. I say Milt
was a starter for the Super Bowl, so you can go with him.
Yeah, and then Slay was a starter.
Played a good amount of snaps.
Rodgers played, yeah. So
and then Slay was, Slay's we'll see.
Yeah. So when you say that, when you look at that, the Eagles are going to do what they always do in the first rounds, is build from the trenches. That's an Andy Reid type staple. They've always done that.
Yeah.
So offensive line and pass rushers are always going to be top on the dockets. If there's a quality guy between one of those two, you can best believe the Eagles would be looking at that. And we know they like to do that mid to later rounds, is kind of try to find some gems, right, and develop those guys. But I think that how thin they got with pass, they like, was it Ojomo? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Yep. They do like Ojomo, and I think we'll see what he can do. He reminds me. He doesn't remind he not reminds me of the player Milton Williams was, but he reminds me on that path of he's going to get better every year. The more he plays, the more I think he'll get better every year, kind of how Milton did, until he becomes almost borderline starter. But he's going to be your first rotational guy, more likely, from the tackle spot. But you don't have a lot of depth. What was he? Fourth, fifth, sixth. He was a mid-round guy, right? Seventh, right? He was seventh-round pick. So, you need some more. You need some more talent, because what Jalen Carter did from a playing standpoint, I don't think that's not sustainable, right? That's just not sustainable, especially when you're going to pay him the money that you're talking about paying him. It's just not sustainable. So,
Hargraves, I think you could talk about. Like, that's another guy we should bring up.
You think you bring back Hargraves?
No. I was talking about. Actually, I've heard that that's not out the realm of possibility. Although he is coming off an injury and 32 years old, depends on what he wants to do financially. But I've heard that
he's a money guy. He's all been about.
They're kicking the tires. There's a little dust. I wouldn't say there's smoke. There's a little dust with Hargrave.
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't count because he's that tweener, right? People forget he was a nose tackle.
The one, I don't know if you remember, the Seahawks just cut him, Draymond Jones. That's the one that I think we need to peg for.
Oh, the young defensive tackle.
Yeah, he's a tweener. That's a true tweener right there.
Yeah, Hargrave started as a nose tackle in Steelers, right?
He was kind of out of position there, though, and then we moved him to that 4-eye.
But he was a beast with the Steelers, though. I don't know if he was out of position.
He wasn't. He was. I mean, Hargrave was if you knew kind of guy, though. But when they paid him that deal, which at the time I think was like 3 for 33, and everybody was like, "What the hell?" It's like $11 million a year. But I think it's just. I mean, he wasn't a household name. His best career year is the year they went to the Super Bowl.
He wasn't a household name, but for his position, he was far ahead of anybody from a pass rush standpoint.
Yeah, he's just not very good in the run game.
Yeah, yeah.
Williams is better in the run game, but Ojomo is also. I mean, he's a true 3 kind of tweener. But if you look at a guy like Draymond Jones, he's released. So just like Darius Slay, they don't count for or against the comp pick formula. So if you're cut by the team and it's not just the end of your contract, then everything you don't go against the comp pick. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. I'm not familiar with Gabe Hall.
UDFA out of Baylor.
Okay.
We'll see with him. He
didn't. See, that's why I even introduced you as the GM. I said I was the player, right? Like, I'm the player. I just know numbers. I just, you know what I mean? Like, you're the GM. You know these names. You know what college they went to. Like,
he's Gabe Hall.
That's why this shit works.
Gabe Hall's a guy he's got a lot of tools in his body. I'm actually really excited to see him for this training camp. He's one of the guys that I will have marked in my players to watch for Eagles training camp for the summer.
You know who I thought you were talking about that was released because it was a big deal, but he already got re-signed. I thought you were talking about Grady Jarrett from Atlanta for a second. I don't know why.
Yeah, he got cut and then paid 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
No, Draymond Jones he played for Vic Fangio in Denver.
Okay.
And then got bagged up by Seattle and was kind of used differently. He was kind of used wrong. But I think he's a guy to look out for the Eagles. They're just not this class doesn't line up with what they want. The fact that we have 4 5th-round picks now. Do I think they're going to make all those picks? No, but they'll either trade them for assets in 2026 class or whatever it may be.
And breaking news right on time, like you already said, Najee Harris 1-year deal to the Chargers, $9.25 million.
Yeah, so good to see that.
Juszczyk is getting Kyle Juszczyk is getting released. That's surprising. Here's another thing. The fuck is the Niners doing? Like, Jesus.
Haven't hit the reset button because they got to hand out the bag to Brock Purdy.
Like, Jesus Christ. Like, they're getting Chardarius Ward was gone. Who else was it Cam Bynum?
Cam Bynum signed from the Vikings.
He's a Viking.
Alanoa Hufanga is the safety from the Niners, signed with the Broncos.
That's who it was.
Aaron Banks, left guard, signed to the Green Bay Packers.
I did see that. Yep.
And then I'm trying to think of the other one.
Yeah, I thought it was a full list. I'm looking for it. It was a full list of what.
I think Field Yates had it.
Yeah, who they lost? Oh, they lost the linebacker. Was it Greenlaw? Not
Greenlaw with the Broncos. Yeah,
but they did. Yeah, they lost the linebacker. Yep. Yeah, crazy. That's a good fit for Denver too. That defense is going to be for real.
Yeah, they're going to be. The Broncos are going to be good. I still think they're a team to watch, especially with Javonte signing with Dallas. I definitely think that Kenny Gainwell has a possibility in Denver.
That's a good fit for him.
Sean Payton would really utilize the shit out of Gainwell.
Yeah, that's a good fit for him, and then they'll probably still draft somebody. Is my guess.
See, I think I'm leaning more towards they're just going to sign a vet. They've got 2 kids on futures contracts. Tyrion Davis-Price, former 3rd-round pick of the Niners out of LSU, was called up a couple times this season. They like Will Shipley a lot, so just know. I mean, the goal is for him to step up into that RB2 role. So they also have Lou Nichols they signed. So they've got 4 under contract right now. I wouldn't. I'm leaning more towards vet than draft, but one guy I've heard that they've done a little extra research on is the running back out of Delaware, who his name escapes me right now. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, the big name was the kid from Virginia Tech, who had just a monster combine.
Yeah, there was the kid from VT. I mean, there's some good backs scattered. I think Damon Martinez out of Miami is one of them that
I'm a big Scatterboo fan. He's cool.
Fan.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a great pro. Where he drops or where he goes, I don't know, but I don't think it matters. I think he can play in almost any system.
I think Cam Scatterbo is very upset Bill Belichick is not coaching in the NFL today. So if Genty's not a Raider, maybe Scatterbo falls to Pete Carroll in the second.
He fits. It doesn't matter where he goes. He fits. He fits anywhere he goes.
Pittsburgh's got an opening now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's a Steeler for sure. He would fit. You know what I mean? Those guys like Ravens. Pittsburgh. I'm trying to think who else is like that.
There's a true saying around the league, like that guy's a Steeler. That guy.
Yeah, exactly. Those guys. Yeah, those guys are it. Scatterbo would be perfect.
Apparently, if you play at Georgia, that's the only thing they just tell you. Oh, you're unique.
I mean, Philadelphia Bulldogs, man. You already know, baby. Out of all these players and trades and wild signings and all that stuff, you got anybody who got overpaid today? What would you think?
Let's keep it in house. Milton Williams.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Milton Williams got overpaid, and I think that Milton Williams, who just so like Eagles fans are on the same page, they've been trying to get a deal done with Milton Williams since this past offseason. Milton bet on himself, and it worked out. This is one of the times where it works out immensely for the player. But yeah, he got the Patriots overpaid him. The Patriots overpaid Carlton Davis. The Patriots overpaid basically anybody who was in Morgan Moses. They overpaid everybody.
The Patriots.
Yeah. So
I like it. I like it.
I mean,
Yeah,
think
no,
about
I was with Milt. I was with Milt too. That's who I actually had. I think Milt got overpaid. You know, I don't think he even hit 50% of the snaps. So he was effective in that role. So it's different when guys become full-time. Like think about Bryce Huff for Eagles fans.
Yeah.
Right. Going from,
going from
being
DPR
good as a
to
part-time and doing what he's supposed to do when he has to do it in short bursts. And having some time to be a role as a starter if need be. And now you get to that 4-starter mode and you just lights are too bright, money's on you, pressure's on, gets different. You know what I mean?
Marcus got another good one there. Jordan Lewis. That's another good one, Marcus. Yeah, that 3 for 30 is not looking good in Jacksonville. They overpaid a couple people, man. They just
Is that the tackle?
That's the corner from Dallas.
I was thinking about the who was the tackle that was terrible, who got paid with the Steelers, I think it was. Did the Steelers sign a tackle from the Titans?
Oh, you're talking about no, the Titans signed that tackle.
That was the other way around.
And more. Yeah, he signed the Steelers tackle.
Yeah.
Hey, that bagged him up. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
No,
right.
Jags have made a couple questionable decisions today. That's for sure. Yeah, Titans stink too. I thought the Colts have actually handed out good money.
Who did they get? It was the Vikings,
Ward,
right? The safety and Ward, right?
I've heard they're a team to watch for Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, no, you did. I did see that. I mean, let's talk about that. You think? Obviously, it looks like Goddard's not going to be on this team.
There's no more guaranteed money. Okay, he's under contract, but there's no more guaranteed money. So when you're the player and there's no more guaranteed money, you have no point to risk injury. So you got to sit down and make a deal. He's 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We did this with Ertz. Ertz more of a successful tight end, in my opinion, than
I agree.
I think Goddard's given Selleck level production for us.
I don't think he's been that good.
I think the injuries are really the big thing. Is not playing full seasons.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game. It's part of his story. Like when he plays, he can be a difference maker for sure. But when they label him like number 5 as a tight end, I mean, on potential, but you got to play. You have to play. You like that's it. Like there's no way around it. You have to play. So, like I'm okay with him walking. I wouldn't mind looking at. I heard this a little bit ago. I don't know how true it is, but Mayer from Raiders. If we can get him for cheap, I wouldn't mind him.
Mayer's a funny one, man, because he's got a lot of personal stuff.
I didn't know that.
So it's that was part of missing the game, missing football. They drafted Bowers. That was just too to me. They've had too many cookies in the cookie jar. Possible. No, I think it might be fake here. Kai Becton's getting sniffed around, and thought he would be done by the end of today, but that's a funny one. Sorry about that. A lot of stuff happening today. A lot of crazy messaging going on constantly. But to talk about back to the Goddard thing, the Niners are dealing with Kittle. They're going to pay him. They're going to sit down and do the same thing. And he's kind of similar, but I think he's been better than Goddard.
He's a Pro Bowler.
You know what I mean? I'm sure you'd agree. Like the Kittle is a level above.
Oh, for sure. Easy. Yeah,
but,
easy a level before. And not only we've seen the production from Kittle. Like we've seen the peak of what Kittle can do. Yeah, right. Exactly. We've seen that. Like
sporadic dominance.
And the style play, the player himself, and the position. It's a you take a lot of big hits, right? It just is what it is. You're coming across the middle, you don't see where you're going. Like it's the nature of the position. But also I think we've seen Kittle have 1,100 yards, 1,200 yards in a year, 8-10 touchdowns, even I think more than that in a year too. We've never seen what peak Goddard looks like. We don't know what it looks like yet.
Yeah.
And again, all I can say is that I think he's definitely in a second tier. They put him in that top tier. I don't think so. You got to play. You're always hurt. You got to play. So, And I think Grant Calcaterra, not Goddard, but filled in fine. Can't block for shit, obviously.
That's.
But I mean, as a pass catcher, getting open, knowing how to get open. You know what I mean? He had a couple.
Calcaterra's a good level 2. He's
I mean, he's not Goddard, right? I mean, Goddard showed you what Goddard was.
Put it to you like this:
against in that Green Bay game. Was that Green Bay? He stiffed arm and shoved that dude. Was that Green Bay? No, it wasn't Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay.
It was Green Bay, right?
Carrington Valentine.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you like this, though. With Goddard, the way they want this to go is similar to what happened with Sweat last year, where they renegotiated at a lower number and wrote him a check and told him, let's work this out. I think what they're trying to avoid is dragging this out as long as they did, like with Ertz. And they got basically nothing for him.
Is he technically on a contract?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, he just like I said at the very beginning, he's
out of guaranteed money.
So he doesn't have a reason to risk his body.
Yeah, knowing that he gets hurt too.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's interesting. And the return, I mean, we're not talking about, a second round pick. We're talking about they're probably asking for a third. They're lucky to get a fourth kind of thing. And that's why they get upset about that. And then when the team that Goddard and his agent talked to say that we're only willing to pay you X, and that number may be close to what the Eagles are offering, then you just come back to the Eagles. That's what they're hoping.
Right. All right, let's find some gems, man. Who got underpaid? Who got a deal? Honestly, I'm gonna tell you, man, it might sound crazy. I think the fucking Buffalo Bills got a deal. I think Josh Allen's a $60 million. I think because I looked it up. His guaranteed money just beats Watson, right? And by $20 million. But his annual is the same as Burrow and Lawrence at 55. So, and people talk about Hurts. I think Hurts annual was 51, and I think Hurts got almost $220 million guaranteed. 225.
Not guaranteed. Okay.
I thought it was 225.
It might be 225.
See you, buddy. Yo, man. You see me doing the show. Don't ever say no. You're good, bro. You're good. So like I was saying, but it's not. Then that's what I was saying. Like, one, the talent matches the contract. Just one MVP. There's no doubt that Josh Allen, outside of maybe Burrow, Mahomes, is hands down the best quarterback, in the league. You can argue whoever you want to argue with about that. But I still think he got underpaid. The way quarterbacks are getting paid, like who's the next quarterback up to get a big deal? Purdy going to touch 55 million or close to it. Between 50 and 55.
You said between 53 and 55?
No, 50 and 55.
Oh, 50 and 55, yeah.
He'll touch that. So who's going to be the next quarterback to break what Allen got? You think?
Lamar potentially.
Yeah, I guess Lamar. But Lamar, I don't think they give him more than. They'll give him a lot. They'll give him maybe like a Hurts deal. I don't even know what his deal is now.
But, I mean, Hurts came in right above Lamar. Lamar signed right after.
You're right. Hurts was
51. I think Lamar is 52.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hurts was like the highest paid player in the NFL for like
10 minutes. Yeah. I do remember that. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless they reworked that Mahomes deal some way, somehow, that 10-year deal.
They could. They've already touched it a couple times. So
yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's close to being like the pinnacle, and you sign him now before he goes off and has maybe another MVP a year or 2 years from now, I think you got him on the deal. To be honest with you, I really do. Because if you sign him 2 years from now, he's cracking 60.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
he's close
I
to
think it's just
60
a
a
good.
year.
I think it's just an all around, works for everybody kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah, but that I mean, it's not conventional because you would think it'd be something else, but I do think they got Josh Allen on a pretty sweet deal, compared to what it really could if he really like, no, I want to be paid. And he did get paid. I mean, he only got $250 million, but
Another big
you got
free agent
you got anybody
board.
for me who's who got a good friendly deal?
Well, J.C. Horn got $25 million a year this morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
Byron Murphy just re-signed with the Vikings at $22 million a year. And there's people that could argue that Byron Murphy had a better year than J.C. Horn last year, but it depends on what you want to do.
Struggle with injuries and stuff. He struggled Horn, right?
Yeah. Horn's a stud, but
he's a stud.
Yeah, Byron Murphy. So that's another. A lot of guys are just staying put, man. A lot of guys are staying put. Murphy's kind of one of the big dogs off the board there. So with him and Reed gone and Carlton Davis gone, there's like no corners left besides there is Asante Samuel, but underpaid, man. I don't think there was a lot of underpaid going around today.
They were throwing money left and right for sure.
Yeah,
that long snapper got a deal. I forget what it was. A 3-year deal, long snapper.
Yeah, a few of them have been getting paid.
Made the cut. Made the cut.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, man. I tell you, it's yesterday was crazy too, and I don't think we've had 48 hours like this in a while. So
yeah, no, it was no, for sure. It was a crazy first day. Now I think the
Eagles are still yet. So we've been legal tampering for 9 hours and 46 minutes yet, and we haven't signed one player. So
yeah.
Let's go.
I guess we'll end on that. For the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm sorry, I keep saying that in the wrong context. Your world champions, 2-time Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles. What do you think they sign? What do you think they'll go? You think they'll sign anybody from outside, or look at trying to re-sign some of their own that's still kind of there? They've
still got some housekeeping to do with Cam Jurgens. They got some decisions to make on Jordan Davis.
You think they're making those deals now or next year?
Well, of course. Yeah.
Those deals are coming now.
Yeah, it's all happening all at the same time.
Okay.
As far as outside the organization goes, like I said, Draymond Jones is my name to watch. Asante Samuel Jr.
Yep.
We'll see there.
Samuel Jr. is bigger than his dad is, though, too, right?
Kind of. They're about the same.
They're about the same? Okay.
Yeah, they're about the same.
I thought he was a little bit bigger than his dad. He could fly.
Similar to like a Trot situation kind of thing,
Yeah, okay. Well, that's hard.
Well, no, I mean,
it's not like Samuel was a big guy, right?
Well, I mean, Trotter Jr.'s gonna get, he's gonna right now he's gonna be starting next to Zach Ball in week 1. So
yeah, it's wild.
I mean,
it's wild. Is it just them two? Just that our 2 linebackers?
Well, Jacoby's gonna be hurt.
Jacoby's hurt. Yeah,
so free agent, so he'll be back. But yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, I would say that's the starting tandem week 1.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's the starting tandem for sure. But it's just, I was thinking is that our only signed linebackers. I mean, I know Dean
under contract. They've got 5 now. I think with Zach Bond. So it's like Bond, Dean, Trotter, Van Sumeren, Dallas Gant. I think was the future contract. He's a tiny guy out of Toledo.
Yeah. I forgot about Van Sumeren. They use him at run fullback too sometimes, right?
Yeah, BVS.
Yeah,
he's kind of a badass.
Yeah, true. Now I think it's been a fun first day, and I can't wait to see how this kind of continues to unfold. Next important date is believe you said we had talked about Wednesday is the first day of free agency that we have on the docket. So we have that coming. And then we have a lot of these pro days, right? Kind of gearing up for the draft, pretty much.
Yeah. We'll get our. I guess we get my mock ready and everything, and we'll. Maybe we can do more than one this year, or however you want to do it. We could do like a.
I think last year we did.
I can't remember if we did 1 or 2. We did 1 with me and you.
Yeah,
I think see how it goes.
I think we did 2. I think we ended up doing 2.
Yeah.
First round. So yeah, we might be able to do a mock real quick right before all the pro days. Makes a lot of sense. And then, and then maybe run one right before. we'll play by ear. Like you said, football 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
Just all year round. So,
and don't worry, Eagles fans. Trust me, Howie is working. He made a trade. Actually, they made a trade. Excuse me. They made a trade. So,
and he actually got some good value back. I didn't mind the value back.
That's a steal, man. Like, if you go looking for what we gave up to what we got back, we basically rented Kenny Pickett for nothing and then still got Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Like,
crazy.
So.
All right, everybody. Don't forget, new merch is down at the website, www.moneypotbetting.com. Go check it out. As always, we appreciate you guys. If you're still with us, man, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, that follow button. Thank you for listening to all our ranting and rhyming. This is where we kind of get a little nerded out and really talk about the X's and O's, the cap, how you build a team, kind of franchise mode, right? On the podcast, Victory Monday Pods. And this will be Victory Monday.
If we start losing, we're switching the name of the podcast to franchise mode.
Right.
Losing, we gotta go back to it.
I still haven't come up with anything if we lose and we're talking Victory Monday Pod and it's a losing day. So
it was franchise mode.
With no losses, right?
Franchise mode. We got
franchise mode. We switch it up to franchise mode. I like it.
I gotta fix everything now.
I'm Moss Money, man. That's Ernie B. We'll see you guys later. Appreciate the call. Appreciate the time. Appreciate coming in. See you guys later.
Man. Always a pleasure, man.